The auction block is the newest item added to the game with an update specifically for it, allowing players to auction an item in their world for the small price of 8,000 gems. And note my grammar when I said an item. Yes, you can only have one auction active in your world at a time, and you can only auction individual items. Now, the UI is pretty primitive. You have a way to choose an item to auction, 3 auction links to choose from, and a starting bid. And once you choose all 3 and click confirm, your auction will be available in the auction house. Do note that you cannot cancel your auction once it starts. Now, the actual auction house is on the left, and clicking it will lead you to the auction page, where you can see up to 5 auctions at a time with some ways to sort, along with being able to search up a specific item if you want. Additionally, you'll find a world lock bank here that you must deposit world locks into if you want to actually bid on items. And moving on to bidding, you have to go to the world physically, and once you're there, you can either wrench the auction block itself or use the UI and bid using one of the 3 preset amounts. After the time expires, the auction will end and you will receive the item in your mailbox if you win, or will be reimbursed your world locks if you don't. The seller also gets the world locks put into their mailbox if the item sells, or the item itself if no one places a bid. Now, for some early thoughts on this. Pros. Global trading system, finally! Rather than needing external services like iHemo to find stuff, buyers and sellers can just use the auction house, which is really convenient. Anti-inflation. Now, the thing with auctions is that they weigh more in favor of the buyer, because at worst, the buyer has to pay the actual price of the item, and that's fine. Auctions aren't supposed to be ideal for selling bulk or really super expensive items, but rather to get rid of weird or hard to sell knickknacks that go for a bit. Safe auctions. Now, auction worlds are probably not going to die, mostly because of the 1 hour auction minimum and because they have really good advertising, but this just helps in preventing fake auction worlds from existing. Cons. Money laundering. This could very well be used to launder money, assuming that they don't collect data on the buyer and seller, and even so, it's really easy for the buyer to accidentally spend an excessive number of world locks on an item, and the seller in no way has to give it back, and so you can't really prove there to be a connection between the two if so. Data collection and storage. Assuming that Growtopia does collect data on every buyer and seller, there is a bit more overhead on their databases and servers, along with needing to store information on every single auction put up in real time. Now, I don't know if it's significant enough to cause the servers to perform even worse, but it definitely doesn't help. However, this would be a good countermeasure against the previous point. Dumb stuff. The actual implementation of the auction block is pretty good, but there are some annoying things that people could do, like going on a bidding war with the owner's alternate account who jacks up the price, using alt accounts to extend an auction's duration to make it stay in the front page longer, doing a scam where they say highest bidder on my dirt auction wins world locks. Auction timers. This is the biggest issue for me, that the auction timer will still go down even if the game is down, so you could really get screwed by this if you set your auction starting bid at too low and the game just stops working, so people will probably set their bids to overpriced or just at the item value, which might mean that no one will actually bid on them. However, because things like trees also grow when servers are down, I suppose it's something that we just have to live with. Now, I would like to see the following changes. UI. The UI works, but it doesn't mean it's good. It is kind of terrible. Mostly, I would like to see more than 5 auctions at once. Maybe a random feature would be nice as well, but I would just like to scroll through pages of auctions just so I can see, maybe I want to spend money on some random stuff I've never seen before. Time constraints. Why are the auction times just 1, 3, and 12 hours? It's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme, but if you really think about it, auction worlds would be even more popular if they could just set up 1 minute auctions back to back to back, if they let you input a time from minutes to a maximum of 12 hours. 1 auction per world cap. I assume it's because of their UI limitation, but 1 auction per world is, I don't see why. There's probably some programming hurdle they have to overcome, but it might just be that they're really scared of a dupe glitch happening because, they lock down your world for the duration of the auction. Single stack limitation. You can only put individual items on the auction house. This might be a design choice, I'm not really sure, but it means that the auction house is more limited to only selling expensive items. Concluding thoughts. I think this is actually a pretty good update. It doesn't make trade worlds irrelevant in any way and adds a really convenient method of selling items. Of course, this will be mostly limited to selling moderately expensive items due to the 8,000 gem overhead and with the fact that you can't sell stacks of items. But I think that's an intentional design choice that works pretty well. And the World Lock Bank, I feel like that's a sleeper feature and they're probably going to use that a lot more alongside the mailbox. And if you want more small update reviews, let me know. And now I must reach 10 minutes on the video length, so we've got some big Growtopia news here. They added the auction block to the game, which brings a safer and more dynamic way to trade. This is a global trading system. It's actually crazy. I think they just added the auction house from Skyblock to growtopia. Let's just read a bit here on the forums. To put an item up for auction, arrange the auction block and this screen will appear. Choose the item you want to set to auction, set the duration, and enter the starting price in world locks. Once everything is ready, the start auction button will activate. After clicking it, a confirmation window will pop up to review your selected item, auction duration, and starting price. I don't know. I have not gone on the game, but if they have it where it's like taxed, like Hypixel Skyblock, because they usually take like a 5% cut or like 2%, that would be pretty nuts. That would be pretty good game design. Finally, we can kill inflation. Or not kill, but at least, you know, mitigate the effects of inflation in this game. What the hell? Wait, during an active auction, you cannot perform any actions in the world, such as using or breaking objects. So basically, your world just becomes like a crippled, like, a screenshot. Imagine if you put... Wait, does it only go up to 12 hours? Why? What the hell? Oh, I can't wait for people to bid on my 1 hour auction, and then you realize all the players online are bots, and then you know what happens? No one bids, or someone bids 1 world lock, and then you sell like your Da Vinci ring for 1 world lock. Oh, boo-hoo. Wait. Okay, this is normal. Players cannot start like doing stuff once maintenance starts. If the server goes down, the auction timer will continue running in the background. So what if I just like bid really low on like an expensive ass item and DDoS the servers? Does that mean I win? Does that mean I get $1 billion? Okay, this is... I don't know. Dude, they are actually killing auction worlds. Wait, this is actually the death of auction worlds. Goodbye, like, what, auction 6? That's the popular one? Oh, they're gone. Find auction button. They're actually using the UI for actually decent stuff. Oh my god. Oh, there are no auctions. Okay. Oh, you have to go to the world to bid? Oh, okay. Wait, 4,000 auctions. Why is it only showing 5? Wait, this is actually... Wait, this is out... This UI's ass! Why can't I scroll? What do you mean? High to low. Captain Mark, 10 million world locks? What? How much does this cost? Only 8,000 gems? That is nothing. But here's the thing. The button is kind of out there. It's the UI also kind of ew. And only 12 hours for auctions is like pretty ew. That's like enough time for someone to go to sleep. And the second thing, the fact they had to go to the world to bid, it's a little like I could see some issues with that. And I don't know if growtopia will keep logs of like people who bid on the items. So like, let's say you buy, you know, an item for like 1 billion BGLs. Who's to say that's not just like, you know, money laundering right there? I would like more UI. I would like to see like all the auctions. I would like an option to like scroll through a bunch of pages. This is the bare minimum UI. All right, well the auctions up. Wait, why does it keep going up? Oh, them saying bid +1 and +10. Oh, I thought they were just typing that in chat. No, they're bidding more and more, and that's increasing the auction timer. Oh. You could literally just do that. You can keep adding +1 on 2 alts and making your auction. You could like edge people out. You could be like the latest auction forever. Are people gonna do that? Are people gonna make the longest auction known to mankind? Is that what's happening? Okay, let's go to this 1 world lock pinball bumper. Surely people are not bidding on this pinball bumper, right? Yeah, literally just a pinball. Okay, yeah, it's done. Okay, and it just leaves and it goes back to their mailbox. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was that. That's this update. It's pretty neat, I'd say. You know, I think it's a pretty... Conceptually, I think the update's pretty good. However, in the growtopia like landscape, I don't know how successful... Why is there comet dust here? It's not convenient because, first of all, I don't see any stacks of 200 items. So you can only sell individual like 1 item, and that is, for a lot of just like materials and stuff, that is not useful. So you're gonna be trading mostly clothing and expensive items on here. Secondly, I think the timer thing, I think just limiting it to bid is what makes trade worlds like still relevant, because here it's like you have to wait the entirety of 12 hours possibly just to get the item you're bidding on, and then, you know, you're not even guaranteed to get it. Someone could just like bid in the last like minute or something and then beat yours, and you have to go into this bid war just to get some stupid item, and yeah. But I feel like this is I guess like the beginning of PAW, or like player appreciation. But I can't speak words. I'm sorry. I just woke up. Player Appreciation Week. I feel like this is the beginning because it's like this is actually a kind of impactful update because they just dropped this out of nowhere. They just like for what? For why? I hope Paul actually goes pretty well because they delayed it this year and we gotta wait longer. But if this is like if they're gonna drop things like this, like experimental features, that'll actually be pretty interesting. I'll be excited to see what they do. Yeah. As for the general concept of this idea, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty good that they limit it to well, it depends on what their intentions are. Right now, it's kind of just like a somewhat convenient option to sell items if you really want to, with some risk involved if you don't have an alt account to bid. Otherwise, I think they need to address money laundering. I think I think that'll be a problem if people just buy items for very expensive on there for no reason, and then you know do that. I think they need to keep tabs on more information, but I don't know how much more information they can hold because I feel like are the CCTVs still down? Yeah, because the myth going around is that people have been data scraping information from vending machines or like the security cameras and have been using that for like their bots and stuff, but I don't know. Oh my god, you guys donated so much stuff. Holy hell. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. And if you want to help me even more, you can use code BrotherBot or the link in the description and get 5% off Growtopia purchases. Okay, goodbye.